Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. I am Rev Melissa, and this is Morning Sip. SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Yes, it does. So, my passion is to support people in transforming their lives. It is 2024. It is time to live in your purpose, to be your purpose, and to show up as the divine design that you are. Yes, it is time. It is time. And I am here to support you in doing so because my mission is to give inspiration through spiritual life coaching. I'm a spiritual life coach. Through preaching, I am an interfaith minister. Through teaching, I teach, do workshops, all the things that ignites the divine spark within you to live life in joy, connected to your yes. This is my ministry of joy. So if you need support, you can reach out to me by sending me a direct message on Instagram, a direct message on Facebook, and we will set up some time to talk. All right, y'all. So as you can see, today's show is pre-recorded. Today's show is pre-recorded, but those of you who are on Instagram are catching me live right now. You are catching me live right now. So I decided to do Instagram live and streamed on New Thought Media Network and Facebook and YouTube, the pre-recorded show. So we are getting into it because we are in our discernment series. So we started our discernment series today. So shout out to everybody. Let me start there because I would normally do a shout out and see who's joining me and all those things. So shout out to everyone joining me on Instagram. And shout out to those of you who are with me now at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'm going to shout out Linda because I know you're probably there, and Sekou and Fee and Shay and my mama and everyone that joins me live. So, discernment. So we started discernment, of course, with the definition. The definition that we're working with is a keen perception of thought, a keen perception of judgment and thought. Let's throw in thought too. A keen perception of joy, judgment. And the origins of the word discernment is to decide, right? We make choices every day, probably thousands of choices every day. And how do you discern what you are choosing? Because to not make a choice is a choice. Yes? Oh, yes, it is. Now, yesterday, I started to share with you the 7 qualities required for an authentic discernment process. And it was from an article that I found on Xavier University's website. And I unpacked 3 of the 7 yesterday. Today, I'm going to share 2 more, and I'll share the other 2 next week because discernment is going to be a 2-week series, y'all. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. So, to remind you of the first 3 of 7 qualities required for an authentic discernment process, because discerning is a process. Yes. So the first is openness, right? Having an open mind, but not just an open mind, but also having an open heart, right? And having no attachments whatsoever to what the guidance is, right? 2, generosity. Having a generous spirit, right, is really important. You can't have a selfish spirit. You have to have a generous spirit. A generous spirit has no conditions. No conditions. The guidance received and the guidance taken for discernment is not based on the conditions, right? So no conditions on the guidance. And another way to look at that is bargaining with God. If I do this, then God will do that, right? So no bargaining, a generous spirit. The third is courage, willingness to give up control. Woo! Let me say that again. The willingness to give up control. And to trust God. That takes courage to give up control and to trust God. Oh my goodness, I am a recovering control freak. Woo! So today I'm going to share two more. All right. So again, this is from an article from Xavier University, and the article is called Seven Qualities Required for an Authentic Discernment Process. So here is number 4. Interior freedom. I love that. I love that they added the word interior. Interior freedom. So we already know that this is a process, that discernment is an interior process. It's an interior process. You are discerning from within. So this is what they write in the article. To make such a prayerful, generous, courageous decision requires interior freedom. Their whole and deepest desire is to do whatever God's will is for them with no conditions attached. This is the attitude necessary to authentically find and follow God's will for us. So my deepest desire is to be in alignment with the indwelling spirit within me. And I know, because some people say, well, what about my will, right? When we say God's will be done, what is God's will? God's will is the expansion and expression of the ever expanding good. We know that God's will is always good, right? So why not be in alignment with God's will? Why not have the deepest desire to do whatever God's will is? Because we know it is for the highest and best good for us and everyone else involved, right? So it takes courage to release control and to allow ourselves to step into the freedom of God's will operating through and as our life. That's some freedom right there, y'all. And then the fifth one is a habit of prayerful reflection on one's experience. I love that they include the word habit, right? And what is habit? Habit is a practice. Habit is something that you cultivate earnestly, right? Habit is a commitment that we make no matter what. So this is what they say. How can we hear God's call if we're not listening? How can we listen if we're not praying? To make a prayerful decision, we must first pray, putting aside a significant portion of time. They recommend 20 minutes or more on a daily basis to quiet ourselves, put ourselves in God's presence, and listen to what God is saying to us in the interior of our heart. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like the habit of having a spiritual practice. And my spiritual practice includes prayer and meditation, along with other things. And I'm at the point now, y'all, that my spiritual practice, my morning spiritual practice, the things that I do to set my day, I don't squeeze in my spiritual practice where I can somewhere, somehow in my day. No, my spiritual practice is non negotiable. My spiritual practice is as important to me as what else do I do? Brushing my teeth, right? I wouldn't go out in the streets without brushing my teeth. But how many of us will go out in the streets without doing our spiritual practice? So, our spiritual practice sets the tone for the day. It sets you up, it gets your mind right and aligned, right? By being present with the presence that is always present. So, it's a habit of practicing the presence of God, as Joel Goldsmith would say in one of my favorite books, Practicing the Presence. So, this is a habit, right? A habit to put time aside on a daily basis to go within, to quiet ourselves, to get attuned. This is what we get to do every single day, because practice makes progress and we put ourselves in God's presence. Because guess what? God is always present. However, we're not always present to God, to the universe, to spirit, to love, to our quality. Let's circle back to our quality. A habit of prayerful reflection on one's quality. Let's throw that in there. How much time do you give yourself to reflect upon your quality, to evoke and invite and declare your quality on a daily basis as part of your spiritual practice? My qualities for 2024 are surrender, structure, soar, and consistency. And my theme for 2024 is I soar. In 2024. And that's just how I say it. I throw it at I soar in 2024. Because you got to feel it. You got to feel it radiating all through you. Feel the vibration of it. Make that a habit. Make that a habit. And then you get to discern from that place of alignment with the presence that is always present. You get to catch God's idea when you make a choice, when you have to discern upon what your next step is. You get to check in and see, what's God's idea about this, right? Because God's will and my will are in alignment, because I am in alignment with good. So we listen, right? We listen with our spiritual ears. We hear with our spiritual ears to catch God's idea for whatever the situation is that we are in discernment about, right? We have to be present to guidance. So that is the first 5 of the 7: openness, generosity, courage, interior freedom, and a habit of prayerful reflection on one's experience. So next week, we'll unpack the last 2. And then I have more about discernment. And y'all can thank Linda from Colorado for this, because yesterday she sent me a message saying that the daily word from Unity, yesterday's word was discern. Come on now. And so she sent me the affirmation. And the affirmation is, I use my wisdom to discern my life. I use my wisdom to discern my life direction. So I read that yesterday, Linda, and got a whole download. So I was like, okay, I guess we're going to have another week of discernment. So thank you, Linda from Colorado, for sharing that with me. And I get such a kick when you all share things with me related to who I am. related to who I am. So let's get into some joy news. And I will share again that today's show is pre recorded because I am taking my aunt to a doctor's appointment. So today's show is pre recorded, but please still put things in the comments so that I could respond to them when I get back live next week. All right. So today is a pre recorded show. And right now we're going to get into some joy news. With those of you who are watching on Instagram, you're seeing me live at 9:07 a.m. So let's get into some joy news. Woo! This past Wednesday and this Wednesday coming and the Wednesday after that and the Wednesday after that, we are in a special community cafe book study. And the book is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The book study is being facilitated by my friend Eugene Holden, who is a contributor to the Science of Mind magazine and just an awesome person. And so he is leading us. He's a master teacher. He is leading us through the Big Leap. We had our first session this past Wednesday. It's not too late to join us. So get off that fence and make a decision, right? This is discernment. This is discernment. Discern that you are ready to take the big leap. It's a leap year. This is leap month. Let's go. Let's go. So get the book, read the introduction and chapter 1. Reach out to me and I will send you the rest of the information and the recording of the first session. So you could be all caught up on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Zoom link is at rocklandcsl.org, rocklandcsl.org, where I am the spiritual minister and senior director. So I hope that you will come. The cost is just a love offering. And I say just, the cost is a love offering. Okay? So I hope to see you there. So that is coming up this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. This Sunday, I love February for a number of reasons. And the number one reason is that I have my twin girls on February 22nd. And it is National Black History Month. And for some, it is a celebration of Valentine's Day. And so our theme at Rockland CSL this month is love. It has to be. It is love. Our theme for the year is Ubuntu. We rise together because we are a community of love and joy, and we are committed to the expansion and expression of love in the world. That is what we're all about. So join us this Sunday for my message. My message this Sunday is Endless Love. And every time I say it, I think about the song by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. That song, Endless Love, every single time I say it. So join us this Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, you can go to rocklandcsl.org, click on Sunday service, and the Zoom link is there. This Sunday, we're virtual only this Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And you could also catch us on Facebook where we live stream the service. Also on Sunday, I do the other SIP. And on Sunday, SIP stands for Sunday in Praise, where I share an inspirational talk. So this Sunday, I'm tossed between sharing a Black History Month moment or my inspirational talk from this past Sunday. And my talk this past Sunday was Leaping with Love. Oh, and it was good, y'all. It was good. So 10:30 a.m., you have a choice. Sunday in Praise or Rockland CSL for our Sunday celebration service. Both happening at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Both available to watch later on Facebook or on YouTube. Please save the date. Our next meditation with the moon is February 23rd. February 23rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We do a full spiritual practice with the energy of the full moon. And this full moon, we are asking the moon for guidance because having the moon as a source of guidance for us is very powerful. So join me February 23rd, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our meditation with the full moon. All right. I think that's it for today. Please be reminded that today, Friday, is the Fee King show. So I want to give a shout out to my soul sister, Fee King. You can catch her Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And she has a wonderful show. And you can also check out my soul brother, Sekou Rice, on Get Rich 101, Monday through Fridays at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to get your mind right about money and investing, you want to tune in to Get Rich 101 with Sekou Rice. All right, everybody. I think that's all I'm going to share today. I got to get going, get my aunt, get her to her doctor's appointment. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope to see you all on Sunday. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy. Yes, we are connected to our yes.